tree and decorations all over, and off to the side we set up a barnyard. Sliding glass door as a moving barn door, hay bales, stuffed barn animals, and even a fence. When the children were listening to the story of the Julenisse, I acted out the parts of the story. Dressed in a Norwegian sweater, black knicker pants, buckle shoes, and of course the white beard and red hat, it was quite an interesting sight. I didn't like risengrid at the time, but I managed to eat it for the kids' sake. The part that was the most fun was sneaking around and leaving goodie bags for all the kids. We only did it for 2 years, but it was a lot of fun. I now teach my own children about the Julenisse and those traditions. At the Sons of Norway, we now celebrate Santa Lucia with our lodge princess as the Lucia bride and our youth group as her attendants. It is a lot of fun carrying on these old traditions.
Margrethe Munthe from Denmark. På loftet sitter julenissen.
Loftet sidder nissen med sin julegrød så god og sød. Han nikker, hvor han spiser, og han er så glad, for julegrød, det er hans bedste mad. Rundt omkring står alle de små rotter, og de skotter, og de skotter. Vi vil så gerne have julegodter, og de danser lystigt rundt i ring. Men nissefar han truer med sin store ske. Vil nu se at komme væk, for jeg vil have en julegrød i ro og fred, og ingen vil dele med. Rotterne de hopper og de danser, og de svanser. De kigger efter grøden og de standser, og de står og nissen tæt i ring. Hissig-prop med sin krop. Han gør et hop. Jeg henter katten, hvis ikke holder op. Når katten kommer, skal det nok blive stop. Så bliver alle rotterne så bange. Så bange. De vinder sig og hopper et par gange. Og 1, 2, 3, så er de væk.
The Pacific Northwest Scandinavian community is large, active, and diverse. We appreciate that they have come together again at this season to sponsor for the community a special program of holiday music and features reflecting their culture. They, and we, hope you enjoy it and that the program becomes a part of your family tradition. Wishing you Merry Christmas today as sponsors are the officers and members of the following organizations: Daughters of Norway Embla No. 2 in Tacoma, Daughters of Norway Gina Krogh No. 38 in Kirkland Redmond, Daughters of Norway Grand Lodge in the United States, the Danish Sisterhood of America Evergreen No. 40 in Shoreline, the Seattle Bergen Sister City.
I don't think, Joanne, that we could do any kind of a Scandinavian program without this next guy. Who are we going to feature here?
Stan Boris and Fracture's Christmas. Have a glad Yule this Christmas by good old Stan.
Have a glad Yule this Christmas, and a happy New Year too. Even if it gets 45 below and our lips start turning blue. Have a glad Yule this Christmas, yeah sure I think I will. 'Cause I've been making aquavit and a still behind the hill. Christmas Eve will sure be fun, yes I'll have a ball. 'Cause I'll be kissing all the girls at the Sons of Norway Hall. Have a glad Yule this Christmas, and in case you didn't hear, let's get ready for a jolly holly Christmas this year. Have a glad Yule this Christmas, I love this time of year. Eating rommegroten lefse and drinking lots of beer. Have a glad Yule this Christmas, make up your Christmas list. Check it over once or twice and no one will be missed. Ho, ho, here we go, let's visit Uncle Knut. Put on your new red vest and polish up your boots. Have a glad Yule this Christmas with lots of Christmas cheer. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Now I play. Your turn. Yes, isn't that pretty? My turn. Take it, Yalmer. Beautiful. Hey, there's the mistletoe, I heard some feller say. I don't need no mistletoe, I kiss him anyway. Have a glad jul this Christmas and a good nyttår too. That means have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you. We'll go to Hjalmar's place, boy, that will be fine. Then heading aboard and drink up all her wine. Have a glad jul this Christmas and a good nyttår too. That means have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you. Boy, I mean it.
Each week we have regular hosts and guests of the weekly Scandinavian Hour. We're here with you today for the Christmas special, Scandinavian Holiday until 2 today.
Tune in each Saturday morning throughout the year from 9 to 10 a.m. for more Scandinavian music, news, and interviews here on KKNW. And don't forget to join us tomorrow, Christmas Day, from noon till 2 for the 57th annual Sounds of a Scandinavian Christmas.
But now, more sounds and songs of the season, both old and new, from your Scandinavian Hour, with Elizabeth Anderson. Jeg så glad ved julekväll, from Norway. And from Finland, the Finnish choir music, Tonten Julepolka.
luiske, mikä reipäs tanssin tuiske. Tonttuparvit tanssii polkkaa, jota tallin parvi kolkkaa. Eihän polkkaa kukaan karta, nousee jalka heiluu parta. Joulupuuro vieressä jäädä ottamaan, sillä vuodessa kai kerran vaan. Tonttu innostuu myös tanssimaan, ja nyt on hetki sellainen, kun voisit nähdä tanssin sen. Tonttu vaarilla soi viulu niin, jotta sotkeudu ei askeliin. Ees tonttu muori hops ja hei, on joulu nyt, ei huolta ei. Ei tonttu lapset, polkassa toisista jää. On harma hapset, melkeinpä pyörällä pää. Saa joulupossut katsella ihmeissään vaan, kuinka nousee tontun tossut polkaan hauskimpaan. Polkassa toisista jää. On harma hapset, melkeinpä pyörällä pää. Saa joulupossut katsella ihmeissään vaan, kuinka nousee tontun tossut polkaan hauskimpaan.
Our Danish troubadour, Flemming Baron, shares some Christmas information with us. Thanks.
My Danish childhood Christmas was magical. It started the first Sunday of Advent with the lighting of one candle on the Advent wreath. It was also the start of the Christmas baking season. All sorts of small cookies in funny shapes and textures were made under the supervision of our mom. Each morning we would open a door in the Advent's calendar, and at night our mom would read us stories from Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales. The evening before Christmas, called Lille Juleaften, our family gathered to wrap presents, eat the traditional rice porridge, and listen to the radio. After dinner, my sister and I would have to go to our room, a small bedroom that we shared, and spend the rest of the evening waiting until our parents decorated the Christmas tree. That was something we were not allowed to watch. But after our parents were done with the tree, our dad would read us the story of Peters jul, Peters Christmas. It started something like this. Jeg glæder mig i denne tid. Nu falder julesneen hvid, så ved jeg julen kommer. Those words were just magical for us. On the 24th, my mom would sneak in and out of the closed-off dining room. We would peek through the keyhole and only get a glimpse of the decorated tree. At 6 p.m., our dad would ceremoniously open the door to the dining room, and we would rush in and marvel at the tree, and of course, the presents under it. Back then, we used real candles on the tree, and I remember a couple of times when the tree actually caught on fire and we had to put it out with the ever-ready bucket of water. That would bring cheers indeed. After dinner, we would join hands and walk around the tree singing the traditional Yule songs. Only then did we get to open our presents. Every year, it was, as always, the best Christmas ever.
We'd like to feature now the CD ikväll jag tänder ett ljus.
Låt mig få tända ett ljus. Tända det bara för dig. Färga din värld röd och klar. Se hur du glittrar till svar. Ute går natten till ro. Bygger en gnistrande bro fram till vårt festglada hus. Där jag vill tända ett ljus. Ett ljus för bara dig och mig. Ett ljus för bara dig och mig. Låt mig få tända ett ljus. Värma dig om du är kall. Nynna en sång som du kan. Se hur du ler lite grann. Stjärnklara midvinterkväll. Bädda sin snömjuka fäll. In till vårt festglada hus. Där jag vill tända ett ljus. Ett ljus för bara dig och mig. Ett ljus för bara dig och mig.
Ah, lutefisk. When people think of Scandinavia at Christmas time, many think of lutefisk. I think of fish pudding, but others think of lutefisk. Let's listen to what Joanne Rudo thinks about Christmas and lutefisk, and also our Norwegian male chorus.
Oh, Mom, do we have to? Yuck, not lutefisk again. Why can't we have ham or turkey for Christmas like normal people? This rather controversial dish makes its appearance in my home every December. In Norway, it's called lutefisk, and in Sweden, lutfisk. The Finns call it luppiakala. My children call it gross. This tradition originated with my maternal grandfather, who immigrated from Norway in the early 1900s. For over 100 plus years, my grandmother, mother, and I have prepared Christmas lutefisk dinners for our families and friends. I usually have 12 around the dining room table. Since lutefisk is the main course, I buy at least a half a pound and always manage to have leftovers. Even the family dog, who has the Nordic name of Lefse and the ability to devour most known organic and inorganic objects known to humankind, will go into a catatonic state when leftover lutefisk is offered. Lutefisk was once upon a time a perfectly ordinary cod that swam. Having the misfortune of being caught, the cod is decapitated and cleaned. It is then allowed to dry on racks in the cold Arctic air. This one-time fish now resembles a malnourished piece of wood. My family and friends have no desire to chew on wood-like substances. Therefore, the fish must be softened and hydrated before it can be cooked. This is done by soaking the cod in a solution of lye for several weeks. The cod, or what is left of it, is briefly boiled in water or baked in the oven. My family traditionally serves this now soft, pale, quivering blob with melted butter and boiled potatoes. Nowadays, you can go to Ballard or Pike Street Market to purchase already prepared lutefisk. It still manages to retain the traditional paper mill aroma and the ability to turn aluminum cooking pans and silverware black. My children have many times wailed, "Mom, if the fish is turning the silver black, what is it doing to our stomachs?" My assurance is that the silverware can be polished and their stomachs will indeed survive, unfortunately, never seems to calm their fear of impending doom. My children frequently remind me that all traditions have a beginning, and they hope that our family's lutefisk tradition will definitely have an ending. They have proposed a new ethnic menu of Nordiska tacos, Ja You Betcha Twinkies, and Ufta Doritos. Good cod! Sorry, kids. I'm sticking with the traditional Christmas menu of lutefisk, or at least till I run out of family and friends to invite.
Lutefisk. There they are, drying in the sun. We got big ones, fat ones, and little ones as well. We need the blooming lot, but we can't get past the smell.
Now we fish the sound for mackerel, salmon, flounders too. But the biggest catch that we can have is lutefisk for stew.
We've got a lovely bunch of lutefisk. There they are, drying in the sun. We got big ones, fat ones, little ones as well. We need the blooming lot, but we can't get past the smell.
Now the captain of the trawler had fished the whole world over, but it took all his skill, by hand or fist, to fill his hold with lutefisk.
We've got a lovely bunch of lutefisk. There they are, drying in the sun. We got big ones, fat ones, little ones as well. We need the blooming lot, but we can't get past the smell.
Now we like it here in Seattle, and at Ballard too. But our greatest joy is out on the Sound, catching lutefisk for you.
We've got a lovely bunch of lutefisk. There they are, drying in the sun. We got big ones, fat ones, little ones as well. We need the blooming lot, but we can't get past the smell.
A favorite from Norway, I asked some people, they said they wanted this particular piece, so we put it in. Thank you for those that suggested it. This is Elizabeth Andresen, along with Sondre Bratland and Glade Jul. I've known Dagmar O'Brien for many years and her family, and though her last name is O'Brien, she really is a Swede. In fact, she's been a guest host here on the Christmas program a number of years ago, and I did ask her to share with you some of her Christmas memories.
I am from a family of 6 children and 2 parents living in an apartment in Falun, Dalarna. At that time, this is when I was a kid, it was like 20,000 people. Snow on the ground and frozen ice rink. Living with a family with 6 kids in an apartment, there was a lot of people, a lot of happenings all the time. And there was snow on the ground, and we were involved in all kinds of things, and my mother stayed home and she cooked. When we were done with school, we came home, so we were 6, at least 8 people. And she was making ham and meatballs and pickled herring, bread, gingerbread cookies, salted herring. Started, we had to soak it, and then we had to clean it, and we put it in brine. And liver pate. What we did do for Christmas, we ate a lot, and we baked a lot. We didn't put up the Christmas tree until the day before Christmas. So when the beginning of Christmas started, actually with Lucia, the 13th of December, that's when things were start happening, and they put up Christmas things in the windows. And I remember one thing that we used to do, always Lucia. My parents had no joy of it at all, because we went up to my class in school. We were like 15 girls in the class, and we had one Lucia, and we went up to the hospital. And they, 5 o'clock in the morning, and they loved us. We just had our white outfits, we could all sing. Started somewhere. We had talked to some nurse and said, we are coming up at 5. Do you want to see us? Yes, we do love to see you. And they really liked it. The people that were in the hospital, they said, ooh, it's like angels coming. And we had learned all kinds of hymns. We had probably like 25 different hymns that we did. And we did it they didn't get any food, nothing. We just singing, no music. We just started and walked through the hallways, and then we went home, and then we did it the same thing. Oh, we went to the teachers, and then we went to the same thing in school, and then we came home, and my parents had nothing of it. But we really did a good thing, and we liked it. That was part of Christmas. Before Christmas, my father took us down to one of the local bookstores. We had 2 down at the big marketplace. He bought classical books for all of us every year. Then we went home, and we wrapped the gifts. And we could listen to the radio. They had a fantastic radio program at that time. You could call in when you were wrapping gifts. You can call in and say, I bought my dad a backpack. Could you make a rhyme for me? His name is Sture. And then there came up. There was a well-known funny man in Stockholm, I think. And we laughed our heads off. I mean, I never called in, but they were very funny. There were all kinds of boring gifts, but they could make a little poem, a rhyme, so they could figure out what there was inside it. And when we celebrated Christmas, we ate, and then later, when we were, relatives, we had relatives all over the place. My mother had a huge, they were 6 kids also, and we had uncles and aunts and all kinds of relatives in Falun. And they came, or we went to them. And we had, before we did this, we had made candles that you dip. You start, and we had a dog, and we had to dip the candles, and we hang it up on posts, and so to dry, and the dog walked underneath, so if it walks close enough, all the candles got crooked. So we weren't we didn't like it too much. But the dog really liked it, wanted to be where we were. God jul, det är Merry Day. God jul och gott nytt år. That's Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Hey, we said we couldn't get along without this guy, so let's do another one. What's his name?
Oh, good old Stan Borson. He's going to do Just Go Nuts at Christmas.
That's the name of the CD, and the piece has been asked for, by the way.
Rudolph the Flat-Nosed Reindeer.
You know, Oscar, this song about Prancer and Vixen.
Ja?
Sounds mighty fine, but the words need some fixin'.
Oh?
Though the tune's the same, we've changed old Rudolph's name.
To what, pray tell?
We call him Ragnar, the flat-nosed reindeer. had a funny looking snout. So Santa cut his nose off just to try and smooth it out. And when he sewed his nose on, Santa got it upside down. Now every time the rain falls, poor old Ragnar nearly drowns. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Ragnar, with your nose so flat, won't you tell me where it's at? Then Ragnar took a deep breath, and he looked so very strange. He said, we're out behind the stockyard. Phew, how I wish the wind would change. It'll never get well if you pick it. Oh, now spell on your bells. Beautiful. Ragnar got a Christmas cold. He caught it in his snoot. And every time he blew his nose, he found he blew his mind to boot. A Rudy toot toot. Ragnar was a way out reindeer. Ragnar the flat-nosed reindeer. Vicious nose would glow instead, but it would never light up, 'cause all his batteries was dead. He burnt himself out at an early age.
As their gift to the larger Scandinavian community, these clubs and organizations are bringing you the happy sounds of the holidays from their homelands in the hopes that you will enjoy a Scandinavian Christmas. Daughters of Norway, Nina Grieg Lodge, number 40. Daughters of Norway, Pilar Guri, number 30, Olympia. Daughters of Norway, Solvig Lodge, number 31. Daughters of Norway, Balkenringen, number 1. Danish Brotherhood Lodge, number 29. Sons of Norway, Bothell Lodge, number 106.
And now the CD, Norrsken, Gräns over sjö är strand. Good music from Scandinavia today for Christmas Eve and every Saturday here on KKNW 1150 AM.
Stay with us today and tomorrow from noon until 2 for Sounds of a Scandinavian Christmas. And then tune in each Saturday morning from 9 to 10 for music from all the Scandinavian countries with news and announcements from the local Scandinavian community.
And let's go on now to Vit Jul, Little Julebarn, Icelandic rendition. Santa Claus makes his trip around the world and stops everywhere, even this small little island way out in the North Atlantic, Iceland. And we've asked Icelander Peter Gudmundsson for some Christmas information.
My Icelandic Christmas, my favorite Christmas memories from Iceland come from anticipating the arrival of the 13 Santas, or better known as the 13 Yule lads in English. The first one, Stekkjastur, arrives on December 12th, with Kertasníkir arriving last on Christmas Eve. My three sisters and I, like all other kids in Iceland, would put one of our shoes in the windowsill when we went to bed and be on our best behavior during those 2 weeks before Christmas, because we believed that if you were good, Santa would drop a small present in your shoe as they went by. However, if you had not behaved since last Christmas, you would only get a potato in your shoe. Another fond memory is all the food and baking that went on before and around Christmas time. There was always lots of pastries, cakes, and cookies during the Christmas holidays. Icelanders loved to bake, and the kids always got to participate or help out, whether it was making cookies or just eating the leftover dough. Everyone got involved. We'd make stacks and stacks of pönnukökur, or Icelandic pancakes, and fill up large Macintosh toffee tins, after eating the toffee, of course. Then we fill them up with Icelandic donuts, we call them kleinur, and cookies, and lots of cakes, and every chance we got, we'd cover them with real dairy whipped cream. Yum. We could open presents on Christmas Eve, but first we sit down to dinner, and a big favorite on Christmas Eve is a smoked rack of pork, which we call in Icelandic a hamborgararyggur. But for many, it's ptarmigan, or rjúpa. It's a type of grouse, and it's very, pretty popular in Northern Europe. We also love lamb, and that is probably our most favorite other than fish and seafood. So on Christmas Day, most Icelanders will serve a smoked leg of lamb, and on the second day of Christmas, we bake a leg or a rack of lamb. Starting on Christmas Day, the Yule lads would return home, one at a time, one day at a time, and our Christmas decorations would not come down until the last of the Yule lads had gone back on January 6th, or the 13th day of Christmas. And that's how Christmas ends for us Icelanders. Gleðileg jól og farsæll komandi ár til okkar allra.
Jul med din glede with Gudny Dalen, grønne, glitrende tre gudar.
Glittrande trädgårdar, välkommen du som vi ser så gärna, med julelys som en norske flagg, och höjt i toppen den blanke stjärna, ja den må skinne, for den skal minne, ja den må skinne, for den skal minne oss om vår Gud, oss om vår Gud. Den første jul i et fremmed land, sin store stjerne vår Herre tente, den skulle vise vår jord at han, den lille Jesus til verden sendte. I stjerneglansen gikk engledansen, i stjerneglansen gikk engledansen om Betlehem, om Betlehem. Om Jesus barnet fortalte mor, så mange aften vi satt her hjemme. Vi kan hans bud og hans milde ord. Vi vet at aldri vi det må glemme, når stjernen skinner om ham oss minner, når stjernen skinner om ham oss minner, vårt juletre, vårt juletre.
This is Alternative Talk, 1150 AM, KKNW Seattle, and KNUC 98.9 HD3 Seattle.
Adolf Fredriks gosseakkord og flikkekår, jul, jul, strålende jul. We like this one, so we played it again and again. songs of the season, both old and new, on our Scandinavian Hour annual Scandinavian holiday.
We hope you are enjoying the holiday, and we are happy to join you and yours in the celebration with this very special production prepared to do today by our weekly program, the Scandinavian Hour. We are pleased that you invited us into your home to celebrate Christmas Eve and hope that you are enjoying the music from the homeland on today's broadcast.
Now, pour a cup of coffee and enjoy music of Gamlelandet as we present the next portion of the Scandinavian Hour Christmas special, featuring music from Finland with the Silvian joululaulu, Hyvä joulula.
Sitten kun sammuu sun tuikkeesi tuo, se siunaa tämä muistojen. Sen vertaista toista en mistään mä saa, on armain ja kallein mul ain Suomen maa. Kiitosta sen laulu soi Sylvian ja soi aina lauluista sain tuisimman.
Gary London is active in the Finlandia Foundation and Northwest Chapter, and he's listens to the Scandinavian Hour. He's almost back and forth to Finland more than some of the Finns are. And we enjoyed speaking with him, and we've asked him to give us a little Finnish slant to Christmas.
I spent my first Christmas in Finland over 50 years ago as a young Mormon missionary. This was also my first Christmas away from my close-knit family, with its joyous keeping of the holiday. My journal from the time suggests I was homesick. Ignorant as I was of Finnish Christmas, I was unprepared for what a magical experience it turned out to be. Since then, I've celebrated half a dozen Christmases in Finland, the most recent being 9 years ago, when my Finnish wife and I were with family there. At that time, we managed to include all the traditional activities associated with Christmas Eve. More important to Finns than Christmas Day. After last-minute shopping and food preparation, the real observance began with a sauna at Harju, one of Helsinki's few remaining public saunas, and where scores of men, sometimes representing 3 generations, enjoyed the winter-defying heat generated by a huge wood-burning stove. Next came Christmas Eve services at the imposing Kallio Church. The high point of that gathering was the congregational singing of such lovely Finnish seasonal songs as En etsi valta loistoa, with music reverberating through the vast spaces. Spiritually fed, we were now ready for the Christmas feast. We began with a fish course, smoked Arctic char, lox, roe, accompanied by boiled potatoes and rosoli, beet salad. Then with the sauna-cured ham came the traditional casseroles, potato, rutabaga, and carrot, reminders of a time when root vegetables were the staples of the Finnish wintertime diet. With all public transportation shut down for the holiday, a taxi took us to the Hietaniemi Cemetery to visit the graves of loved ones and to witness the unforgettable sight of the entire graveyard ablaze with the light of hundreds of candles reflected on the snow. Finally, a bracing walk home through a largely deserted downtown to settle in for the gift exchange and for sweets, including the prune-filled Christmas stars. Decades separated this Christmas Eve from the one I first experienced in Finland, but the enchantment endured, and we seek to continue it in our home right here in Seattle.
Krista Sjögren thinks back to Christmas cards from before with his piece Når juldags morgen glimmer, Den helige stad, with Kai Robert from Sarpsborg on the trumpet.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you.
The following clubs and organizations take the occasion of this program, filled with the Christmas music of their homelands, to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Tune in each Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. to hear about their activities on our weekly Scandinavian Hour bulletin board.
Sons of Norway, Edmunds Lodge, number 130. Sons of Norway, Northern Lodge, number 2 in Tacoma. Sons of Norway, Paulsbo. The Swedish Singers of Seattle, Danoyat, Seattle Finnish Folk Dancers. The Danish Sisterhood Hygge, number 188.
Had a request for this one, Joanne. It's obviously an American one, but it's been put into Norwegian, or Swedish, I guess, in this case. This features Våre Elskede Dansband is the name of the CD, with the Drifters, and the name of the piece is I Saw Mama Kissing
Santa Claus.
You got it. Jag sa mamma kyssa tomten.
Jag såg mamma kyssa tomten, ja. Tänk om våran pappa kommit då. Jag gömt mig i en vrå för att titta lite på ett konstigt stort paket som någon av oss skulle få. Och då fick tomten mammas kram och kyss. Sedan sa hon, åh vad du är bra. Nej, ingen ser att det är du, men jag såg att det var tomten mamma kysste igår kväll. kyssa tomten, ja. Tänk om våran pappa kommit då. Jag har gömt mig i en vrå för att titta lite på ett konstigt stort paket som någon av oss skulle få. Och då fick tomten mammas kram och kyss. Sedan sa hon, åh vad du är bra. Nej, ingen ser att det är du, men jag såg att det var tomten mamma kysste i går kväll.
Rupa Arnio from Finland does Rauhan Kerot.
Kuule kellot, rauhan kellot soivat. Melskenmainen hetkeks hiljenee. Rauhan riemun sanomaa ne toivat, jota ihmiskunta kaipailee. On niin paljon riitaa, kaden mieltä, toinen toistaan vastaan kapinoi. Harvoin kuulet rakkauden kieltä, joka elon onnen luoda voi. Kuule kellot, joulun kellot soivat, rakkauden kellot kajahtaa. Parhaintani kansat unelmoivat, joulun kellot heille toivottaa. Tosi riemun, tosi onnen tunne, täyttäköön nyt kaikkein sydämet. Kuljet linnan mökkiin, kuljet kunne, pyhän rauhan sieltä löytäneet. Rauhan, jok ei maailman melske hissä, lailla harha kuvain häivy pois. Onnen, joka elon vastuksissa, vielä säilyy, kaikki voittaa pois. Silloin, silloin vasta juhla meillä, joulun kellot taas kun kumajaa. Missä kuljemmekin elon teillä, taivas keskellämme kangastaa.
You're listening to a special production of the weekly program, The Scandinavian Hour, prepared for the holiday here on KKNW.
We are pleased that you are allowing us to help you celebrate Christmas today and hope that you are enjoying the music from the homeland on today's broadcast of A Scandinavian Holiday with Christmas music and features from all the Scandinavian countries. Tune in tomorrow from noon until 2 as we present our 57th annual Sounds of a Scandinavian Christmas.
May we also remind you to listen every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 here on KKNW 1150 for happy Scandinavian music to brighten your weekend. And let your friends know, by the way, wherever they are, any place in the world, they can hear us, Seattle time, via streaming on their computers, laptops, and even cell phones by going to 1150 KKNW and then hitting Listen Live. In fact, let's do a little more listening live. Silent Night, Stille Natt, from the CD Radiokörens julesånger, Gustaf Sjökvist and organist Mark Felsche. Well, he couldn't really do a program on Sons of Norway and make some jokes about it, so Garrison Keillor decided to say, well, his song is going to be calling it Sons of Canute, Christmas Dance and Dinner. Again, featuring Garrison Keillor.
Oh, they had the Christmas dinner in Lake Wobegon last night. Every last Norwegian was there with an appetite. Their teeth were brushed, their hair was combed, they smelled of fungicide at the Sons of Canute Christmas dance and dinner. There was Clarence Peterson and Hjalmar Peterson and Gladys Peterson and Lois Peterson, Carl Peterson and Karen Peterson, Pete Peterson, he was there too.
Svensson brought a couple quarts of bachelor farmer cheese. He opened up the cover and it knocked us to our knees at the Sons of Knut Christmas dance and dinner. There was Clarence Anderson and Volley Anderson and Gladys Anderson and Lois Anderson, Martin Anderson and Karen Anderson and Andy Anderson. He was there too.
We had a lot of whiskey, we had a case of beer, and everyone drank faster as we saw it disappear. Then Svensson got some akavit and everybody cheered at the Sons of Knut Christmas dance and dinner.
There was Clarence Swanson and Hjalmar Swanson and Gladys Swanson and Lois Swanson, Albert Swanson and Karen Swanson and Swanee Swanson. He was there too.
We had a lot to eat that night. We drank a lot of wine. The meatballs and the cabbage, the pork roast with a rind. I filled up my plate and then I jumped right back in line at the Sons of Knut Christmas dance and dinner. There was
Clarence Jensen and Hjalmar Jensen and Gladys Jensen and Lois Jensen, Carl Jensen and Karen Jensen, Jens Jensen. He was there too.
And then we moved the tables, we woke up the band. I danced with all the teenage girls and held them by the hand. Ah, there's nothing warms an old man's heart like a sweet young woman can. At the Sons of Knut Christmas dancing, oh, it was something. There was Christina Larson and Christina Svensson, Christina Peterson, Christina Olsen, Christina Anderson, Christina Janssen. And then my wife, she says to me,
"That's enough for you."
"Yes, dear." In the morning we swept all the trash away and puked on our overcoats, and we said a last adieu.
We said goodbye in the hallway and said goodbye on the stairs. We said goodbye on the sidewalk in the cold December air. Then we leaned against the cars, said goodbye out there at the Sons of Knut Christmas dance and dinner. There was Christina Nilsson and Elsa Nilsson and Jenny Nilsson and Christopher Brown and Philip Brunel and Janice Hardy
and Charlie, I believe that you was there too.
Berthboom, Jul, Jul, strålande jul. Oh, it can't be played too often.
Jul, jul, strålande jul, glans över vita skogar, himmelens kronor med gnistrande ljus, glimmande bågar i alla Guds hus, psalm som är sjungen från tid till tid, eviga längtan till ljus och frid. Jul, jul, strålande jul, glans över vita skogar. Kom, kom,
As we prepare our Christmas programs earlier in the year, we look around the Scandinavian community and see if we can find some people who would volunteer information about how they celebrated Christmas and their thoughts about Christmas in the old country or how they grew up here. We've looked to, in the past, Lars Egerhorn from Sweden.
This memory started in Stockholm when I was a pre-teenager. We conked our heavy suitcases and tote bags full of clothes, food, and some Christmas presents a good mile to the train station. Since we were almost late, I was literally boarding when the train started moving. Whew. I guess the train conductor had not seen us running onto the boarding platform. We got off, which was now the second train, a rälsbuss, as you call it in Sweden, in an open field where a farmer with a horse and logging sled was eagerly waiting for us. It was below freezing point and about 1.5 feet of recent new fallen snow. As the sled could only hold the farmer, my mother, and my 1-year-old brother, the rest of us had to walk the 2.5-mile road to the cottage. Fortunately, the baggage was also aboard. Arriving later at the cottage met us with a shivering cold interior. It had stood empty since last summer. Dad quickly fired up the kitchen cooking stove and the living room floor-to-ceiling mortared fireplace. I was outside shoveling snow to all the outbuildings and, of course, the well. Electricity was all we had, no running water, no inside bathroom, nor a refrigerator. Our enclosed entry served as the cold pantry. After a long day, I tried to fall asleep on the cold, pokey straw mattress in the kitchen. The next day, we tromped through the snow and got our Christmas tree. Dad hung the white electric candle lights and then draped a few strings of Swedish flags from top to the bottom branches. We finished hanging the rest of the decorations, some of which my mom had made. Later in the day, my sister and I built 2 1.5-foot tall igloo-shaped lanterns from snowballs stacked in a conical dome outside the kitchen and living room windows and put lit candles inside. They glowed and flickered so nicely in the evening darkness. The excitement was building as tomorrow was Christmas Eve. The restless night had passed and we lit all the candles in our cottage. Our tummies were now full of skinka, Christmas ham, ris alla malta, rice pudding, and orange wedges, figs, and nuts. We sang a few carols and Dad read the Christmas story from the Bible, followed by prayer, etc. And now was the moment us kids had waited for. Along with a small marzipan pig and a clothing item, I received a 200-piece wooden puzzle depicting the African continent with pictures of the wild game animals and what major areas they could be found there. Oh, how I treasured that puzzle. On the bottom of the box it said it cost 5 kroners, or about $1 back then. I still have it, more than a half a century later. And now my grandkids can enjoy it. God jul from Lars Egerhorn.
The great Swedish opera singer Jussi Björling with a traditional O Holy Night, O Helige Natt.
slav, du ser en älskad broder och se din ovän blir dig kär. Från himlen bragte frälsaren oss friden, för oss han nedsteg i sin stilla grav. Folk fallde neder och hälsa glatt din frihet och helga natt, du frälsning nåd oss gav.
You hear about the activities of the following clubs all year long on the Scandinavian Hour Bulletin Board, and now they have gathered together to bring you a special musical program for the holidays. They hope you enjoy the Christmas music of Scandinavia and ask us to bring you and yours the best Christmas greetings. The Karmoy Club of Washington, the Norwegian Ladies Chorus of Seattle, the Norwegian Male Chorus of Seattle, Sons of Norway Vesterdalen, number 2-131 in Auburn, and Sons of Norway Fritjof Lodge, number 17 in Stanwood.
From Norway, Shimmery Klokker. Nå er det jul igjen. That's by the DDE group.
Har jeg pynta tre og hengt opp julenek. I går smakte jeg på boksen, så jeg føler meg som et krek. Har satt godstolen bort med glaset, og jeg sitter nå her og ser om det skulle reke noen etter veiene som jeg kan invitere. Det klart det blir litt stusslig når jula ringes inn, og jeg har bakt de 12-13 sortene som så fersk at de brinner. God jul, god jul, god jul. Det man har laget selv, det smaker noe best. God jul, god jul, god jul. Jeg gleder meg til andan, for da blir det handdagsfest. Ribba den ligger I skapet og klargjort med pepper og salt. Jeg har 3 kasser øl I kjelleren, og da skulle jeg omtrent ha alt. Skulle ikke ha smakt så mye I går, for haupina riv og slit, og da blir det så skarpt til øynene når snøen ligger så fin og hvit. Har en nisse opp på TV-en og en stjerne som lyser så fin. Det hadde nok passet fint med litt julebesøk som kom og ville inn. God jul, god jul, god jul. Det man har laget selv, det smaker noe best. God jul, god jul, god jul. Jeg gleder meg til andan, for da blir det andagsfest. Essensen for den som baker å være aller best. Og rykte går på bygda at jeg lager kjempe julefest. God jul, god jul, god jul. Det man har laget selv, det smaker noe best. God jul, god jul, god jul. Jeg gleder meg til andan, for da blir det andagsfest. Det man har laget selv, det smaker noe best. God jul, god jul, god jul. Jeg gleder meg til andan, for da blir det andagsfest.
Today, the various lodges and organizations have brought you this program of special music and features from Scandinavia. They hope that you're enjoying today's Christmas special and take this opportunity to wish all of you the warmest of holidays. Sons of Norway Hovested Lodge, number 94 in Olympia. Sons of Norway Leif Erikson Lodge in Seattle. Normanna Lodge in Everett, Sons of Norway. Whidbey Island Nordic Lodge, Sons of Norway on Whidbey Island. The Seattle Scandia Folk Dance Society and Vasa Frihet Lodge number 401 of Seattle. From the CD Julklapp og Klang, a medley with Bosse Larsen, and I hope you'll enjoy it. And it brings back memories of all those Christmas parties you attended.
Det var inte sant, för däremellan kommer fasta. Det var inte sant, för däremellan kommer fasta. Och Anders Perssons stuga står I ljusan och alla ljusen brinner också. Anders Perssons stuga står I ljusan och alla ljusen brinner också. Hej hoppsan, hej galoppsan, alla ljusen brinner också. Hej hoppsan, hej galoppsan, alla ljusen brinner också. Ja, välkomna till julens glada lekar. Om ni nu dansar före jul eller kanske under juldagarna eller varför inte till julgransplundringen, så hoppas jag den här skivan ska bli till glädje för er allihop. Det är glada barn ifrån Hanninge som dansar och Lasse Olssons orkester spelar. Och nu så ska vi ta och fortsätta med en låt som heter Vi är musikanter alltid från Skaraborg. Vi är musikanter alltid från Skaraborg. Vi är musikanter alltid från Skaraborg. Vi kan spela fiolioliole. Vi kan spela basfiol och flöjt. Och vi kan dansa bom-faderalla, bom-faderalla, bom-faderalla. Vi kan dansa bom-faderalla, bom-faderalla. Vi kan spela fiolioliole. Vi kan spela basfiol och flöjt. Och vi kan dansa andra hållet, andra hållet, andra hållet. Vi kan dansa andra hållet med. Och den där är ju så bra så den tar vi en gång till, så vi kan den ordentligt. Okej då. Vi är musikanter alltid från Skaraborg. Vi är musikanter alltid från Skaraborg. Vi kan spela fiolioliole. Vi kan spela basfiol och flöjt. Och vi kan dansa bom-faderalla, bom-faderalla, bom-faderalla. Vi kan dansa bom-faderalla, bom-faderalla. Vi kan spela fiolioliole. Vi kan spela basfiol och flöjt. Och vi kan dansa andra hållet, andra hållet. Ja, vi kan dansa andra hållet med. Bra hörni. Vad sägs om att sjunga och spela och dansa Reven raskar över isen? Och då gör vi väl som vi brukar. Vi är artiga mot damerna. Vi börjar med flickornas visa. Brukar flickorna niga nu för tiden?
Ja.
Det gör de. Då tycker jag vi gör det. Okej, Reven raskar. Lasse, får vi en bra introduktion? Och reven raskar över isen. Reven raskar över isen. Och får vi nå och sjunga flickornas visa. Så här gör flickorna vad de går och vad de sitter och vad de står. Och får vi nå och sjunga flickornas visa. Så tar vi pojkarnas visa. Reven raskar över isen. Reven raskar över isen. Får vi nå och sjunga pojkarnas visa. Så här gör pojkarna vad de går och vad de sitter och vad de står. Och får vi nå och sjunga pojkarnas visa. Gummornas visa, de stickar, eller hur? Reven raskar över isen. Reven raskar över isen. Får vi nå och sjunga gummornas visa. Så här gör gummorna vad de går och vad de sitter och vad de står. Och får vi nå och sjunga gummornas visa. Gubbarnas visa, vad gör de? Jo, de lägger ju in snus, eller hur? Reven raskar över isen. Reven raskar över isen. Får vi nå och sjunga gubbarnas visa. Så här gör gubbarna och vad de sitter och vad de står. Och får vi nå och sjunga gubbarnas visa. Sotarens visa. Reven raskar över isen. Reven raskar över isen. Får vi nå och sjunga sotarens visa. Så här gör sotaren vad han går och vad han sitter och vad han står. Och får vi nå och sjunga sotarens visa. Nu ska vi baka bröden ner på golvet, så nu tar vi bagarens visa. Och reven raskar över isen. Reven raskar över isen. Får vi nå och sjunga bagarens visa. Så här gör bagaren vad han går och vad han sitter och vad han står. Och får vi nå och sjunga bagarens visa. Ja, inte för det ser ut som det skulle vara några grinollar här precis, men nu sjunger vi i alla fall grinolles visa, tycker ni inte det? Och reven raskar över isen. Reven raskar över isen. Och får vi nå och sjunga grinolles visa. Och får vi nå och sjunga grinolles visa. Vi måste bli glada igen, va? Då blir det glad. Nej, glad-Olle höll på att säga. Skratt-Olle heter han ju. Okej då. Reven raskar över isen, reven raskar över isen. Och får vi lov och sjunga skratt och lestin. Och får vi lov och sjunga skratt och lestin. Vad bra hörni, nu är vi så glada så nu skulle vi kunna ta en dans. Håller ni varandra hårt i händerna nu då? Ja. En liten dans som heter, vet ni vad, vi ska släppa varandras händer nu. För vi ska nämligen sjunga små grodorna. Och nu, lyssna noga, vi ska vrida oss ett kvarts varv åt vänster. Vad händer då? Jo, vi kommer att stå precis bakom varandra. Och nu så ska vi gå då. Och små grodorna är lustiga att se. Små grodorna är lustiga att se. Ej öron, ej svansar hava det. Ej öron, ej svansar hava det. Koakaklack, 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 koakaklack. Ej öron och svansar hava det. Ej öron, ej svansar hava det. Koakaklack, 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 koakaklack. Ska vi ta små grisarna också då? Kom nu ihåg att små grisarna, de har både öron och svansar. Va? Ska vi vänder oss och går vi åt andra hållet. Okej. Små grisarna är lustiga att se. Små grisarna är lustiga att se. Både öron och svansar hava det. Både öron och svansar hava det. Och näff, 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 näff. Och näff, 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 näff. Både öron och svansar hava det. Både öron och svansar hava det. Och näff, 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 och näff, 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 näff. Och näff, 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 och näff, 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 och näff, 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 näff. Oj.
Goder afton, både herre och fru. Vi önskar eder alla en fredefull jul. Goder afton, både herre och fru. Vi önskar eder alla en fredefull jul.
Remember to tune in tomorrow from noon till 2 p.m. for our 57th annual program, Sounds of a Scandinavian Christmas. This has been Doug Warney and Joanne Rudo for your Scandinavian Hour team.
It is our hope that today and throughout the year, the Scandinavian Hour has helped weld the Scandinavian community more closely together by providing musical entertainment and news for the Scandinavian families of Seattle and the Puget Sound area, and that we have provided enjoyment for you all.
Goder afton, välkommen var gäst. Vi önskar eder alla en fredefull fest. Goder afton, både herre och fru. Vi önskar eder alla en fredefull jul.
From the Scandinavian Hour, we wish all of our listeners and sponsors
En riktig god jul och ett gott nytt år.
This is Alternative Talk, 1150 AM, KKNW Seattle, and KNUC 98.9 HD3 Seattle.
Merry Christmas Eve and Happy Hanukkah. Eric Ryder here with you on Alternative Talk, 1150 AM. We hope you enjoyed today's edition of the annual Scandinavian Hour Christmas Eve special. And we hope you will join us tomorrow from noon to 2 on Christmas Day for the annual Christmas Day special from the Scandinavian Hour. Right now, quick look at our traffic. Southbound I-5 from Lake City Way to Mercer Street is slow. A little bit of hesitation south end State Route 18 to the Fife area. 405 southbound congestion from I-90 on down to about 112. Stay tuned for a Hanukkah message from Rabbi Bogomilsky.
Celebrating Christmas, holiday helpers,
I'm Mike Moss. Christmas Eve services are underway at the Vatican. Correspondent Josh Allen says thousands are attending midnight mass at St. Peter's, being celebrated by Pope Francis.
We are expecting about 3,000 or so people to be on hand, ranging from cardinals and archbishops and diplomats and VIPs to ordinary rank-and-file Catholics.
Correspondent Oren Lieberman is in Bethlehem at the Church of the Nativity, where Christians say Jesus was born.
The crowd has thinned out a bit. They were calling for rain up until yesterday, yet it turned out to be a gorgeous day, barely a cloud in the sky. It certainly is a bit chilly as we get towards midnight mass, but that, of course, is to be expected.
Many people will be giving the precious gift of time for Christmas.
The kitchen at God's Love We Deliver in Greenwich Village was abuzz with activity as dozens of volunteers prepared holiday meals for homebound sick people around the area. Martin Friedman has been volunteering here for years.
You don't want people being alone and not having a good holiday meal. It's part of who we all are.
God's Love We Deliver spokesperson Natasha Bunzel said they do this year-round, but it's especially meaningful around the holidays.
Our winter feast is a colossal effort because we send essentially double the meals out.
Each client gets 2 meals so they can enjoy their Christmas dinner with a friend or loved one. Steve Kastenbaum, New York.
Internal documents from Boeing, now under review by the FAA, appear to point a very disturbing picture of employee concern about the manufacturing of the troubled 737 MAX aircraft. Documents revealed concern over Boeing's commitment to safety, along with efforts by some employees to ensure the company's production plans were not diverted by regulators or others. On Wall Street, the Dow down 36 points. I'm Mike Moss.
Hi, I'm Brenda Michaels.
And I'm Rob Spears, and we're excited to tell you about our changes for 2020. Conscious Talk is moving to Tuesdays, Wednesday, and Friday at our usual time, 7 to 8 a.m. right here on KKNW.
We'll continue to bring you the leading edge of new thought and practical knowledge from natural health to spiritual growth.
Don't forget, Conscious Talk is moving to Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 a.m. right here on KKNW 1150 a.m.
Do yourself a favor and don't buy or sell your home without first listening to Home Talk with Greg McKim, Tuesdays at 3 p.m.
Hi, this is Greg McKim of Legacy Group Capital and Rockwell Realty. Listen to my show for tips on how to navigate the world of real estate and home loans with confidence. I'll take your calls and answer your questions.
Home Talk with Greg McKim, Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Learn more at LegacyG.com. NMLS CL 9905, Equal Housing Lender.
Drive Time Radio with New York Vinny.
Hi, it's New York Vinny inviting you to join me as I return to Seattle with another one of my passions, cars. The new hour version of Drive Time is a weekly look at the automotive world from classics right on through to electrics. Each week we'll review the new, reminisce about the old, and talk about a lifestyle that is built around cars and the people who drive them. Saturday mornings at 8, right here on Alternative Talk, 1150 KKNW.
Time now for a quick look at our Christmas Eve weather outlook. Tonight, cloudy skies, a low around 39. For Christmas Day, looks like a partly sunny day with a high near 44 and a low around 37. For our Thursday, mostly cloudy, high near 44, low around 38. Mostly cloudy Friday with a high near 45 and a low around 39.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host, guest, and callers and are not necessarily those of KKNW.